Come on. Doge doesn't still have a $62 billion market cap. Like, why? What is going on here?
So there you go. And just a few easy steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That doesn't count. 8, 9, 10, 11. You guys are off to the horses, running and making Doge better for everyone inside this space. 10,000 TPS. You get some quantum resistance. You'll be able to figure out a network stack that'll meet your needs and satisfy your urges. You'll have programmability. Look at that. You can finally do smart contracts on Doge and have all those Doge related applications. You don't need the blockchain to mine. How about that? You get side chains. You get some cool stuff for light clients. And then, of course, you'll have a much more reasonable difficulty system, retargeting system, and you're ASIC resistant. This is a fun paper.
All right. Welcome back to HourTwentyFive. It's May 18th, 2021. This is episode 11. Mark Cuban, Why You Love Cardano, Lil Elon Musky, and a whole lot more. 45% of you already know what's going on here. For those of you who are new, if my calculations are correct, once this baby reaches 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious shit. So, the time you need but don't have. Let's get underway. Somebody drop a clock on him. Let's get into it. The UN reports more than 52,000 Palestinians displaced amid Israeli airstrikes on Gaza, and the international community urges for a ceasefire. Next, Tokyo doctors call for Olympics to be cancelled over COVID surge. Again, all links will be in the box. The next thing we're going to look at is a little bit gruesome, potentially to some, but Barstool Sports has it on their Twitter. It was Kevin Pillar who got hit in the face with a fastball. I am going to play this clip. So, yeah, he's gushing blood there. Yeah, the look on his face says it all. Next, Nikola Tesla invention from 100 years ago suddenly makes more sense today. Another interesting article, link in the box. They do mention here that it is a macrofluidic valve, often just called the Tesla valve. It is sort of an odd-shaped conduit for fluids in which a main channel is interspersed with a series of diverting teardrop-shaped loops. I'm not going to go read too much into it, but you can come here. Link will be in the box, and there's a little video here that you can watch. Other big news. Thank you. Sony Files patent for betting service that could accept Bitcoin or in-game items. Definitely recommend giving this a read. And here's some of the bigger news. So I was getting texts. I think this was Sunday it occurred. May have been Saturday. 5/16. No, 2 days ago, Sunday. So this is what happened. A gentleman who goes by the name of Mr. Whale or @CryptoWhale said Bitcoiners are going to slap themselves next quarter when they find out Tesla dumped the rest of their Bitcoin holdings. With the amount of hate Elon Musk is getting, I wouldn't blame him. Well, once that was said, guess who responded? Little Elon Musky himself said, indeed. One word, and look at this. Almost had 5,000 retweets. Everyone was going crazy and up in arms because in a sense Elon is, to some, he was admitting that he had sold his Bitcoin holdings. So Elon doing his thing, moving markets with single tweets. You know, it's safe to assume that he's front running his positions ahead of any public announcements he makes. So my question is, when he and Tesla first said, hey, we're going to accept purchases for Tesla vehicles in Bitcoin, are you telling me there was no preparation or they didn't intend to then shortly thereafter discontinue that? It could have been something that happened spontaneously. Factors may have changed and it forced them to quickly change their strategy on allowing purchases in Bitcoin. onto the main topic this video is about. It is regarding the conversation, sort of, that happened between Mark Cuban and Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano IOHK. They had a Twitter exchange, and then Charles made a video, short one, I think it was under 10 minutes, about addressing Mark Cuban and explaining, not pitching Cardano, but just genuinely explaining the value that it has. So we're going to get into that now. So this is the video here. So this is the video here that we are going to watch a section of this later, a very short section, but this is Charles Hoskinson's response to Mark Cuban based on their Twitter exchange. And I'm just going to recap kind of everything he talks about in the first 10 minutes, so you don't really have to watch it unless you want to. I would recommend watching it and just listen to it, have it come from the horse's mouth. But he talks about how Cardano started as a long-term or long arc research and development project to see where you'd have to go and what would have to be done in order to sustain a financial operating system that could support an ecosystem with 1 billion people, and what technology or collection of technologies would have to be brought together in order to achieve a reasonable cost for the lower 2 billion people who use it. Because Cardano is a vision, ultimately, is what it is. And this is the man who creates the vision along with his team. They want the power structure to be at the lower portion of the pyramid, the way the protocols are designed and how Cardano's ecosystem works, which is really attractive to me and other people who like the true principles of cryptocurrency, which is, anonymity, having an identity, but also having anonymity, having a decentralized financial system where all the blocks are created by everyone who operates within that system, and there's no one person who creates them, or there's no group of individuals that owns a majority of them. And that's why Cardano is so great. He also covers all the academic advantages to Cardano and sort of the academic inspirations behind it. It's multidisciplinary, he calls it. It deals a lot with game theory and programming language theories. And as he continues, he reiterates, but he does tell Mark that, or Mr. Cuban, it is one of the first proof of stake systems to be totally decentralized, which most of us now know. The reason he said they had to reinvent the whole model with Cardano is because what you currently had wasn't quite good enough to take it to the next step and evolve. So they decided to redo the model, one, because the current one wasn't fully secure. There had already been billions of dollars that have been stolen through hacked apps. The other one, too, was it was unsustainable. The gas fees and the cost to operate it and scale it globally just were inefficient. 3, which is a great point, which I hadn't really thought of, but he brings it up, is that there's only 80,000 Solidity programmers, where in the world there's about 25 million programmers of all other kinds, Java and .NET. For those not familiar with Solidity, it's just a programming language. Solidity is a statistically typed curly braces programming language designed for developing smart contracts that run on Ethereum. So his point was, by recreating a new language for your cryptocurrency to operate with, you're engaging 25 million other developers who can now get into the crypto environment. They can bring all those skills and all the billions and $trillions of software they've worked on into our environment and just make it better and make basically raise the floor. He says C. Philip Watner, who developed the Haskell programming language, and he also mentioned an interesting stat which I had not heard, but last year only 31% of the new D apps were produced on the Ethereum network. He also tells Mr. Cuban that unlike Ethereum, you can vote, which is really fundamental and profound. You should be able to vote on what happens with the network you're putting your money into. So he describes the voting framework and how it's distributed billions of dollars to venture capital projects. And there's already been 4 or 5 funding rounds, and each of those rounds, dozens of projects have been funded. He describes it as it truly is, but he lets Mark know that it being open source is really valuable. There's over 105 academic papers that have all been peer reviewed. It's patent free, and there's 10,000 plus citations that have gone into Cardano. It's built with great protocols, which some of those citations are, and it's built for the future. It isn't even fully released yet. This is what I mean by it started as a research and development project. It started just to understand how you could achieve what its vision is. And throughout researching and developing that, we are years later at the stage we are now. And I think it has a high price floor due to the fact that most of it's staked. We are going to have Bart be running some numbers and explaining to you potential price floors depending on how much of Cardano or ADA is staked. He continues talking about the global scale of the network and the efficiency of it and the POS system, but it's 6 gigawatts of power globally compared to Bitcoin, which is 113 terawatts of electricity. So Cardano isn't to be taken lightly at all. What it did in Africa with Ethiopia, soon to be onboarding millions of students and teachers, is nothing to scoff at. They do plan to expand, and I think that you're going to see Cardano continue to grow in the years to come. Let's hit them with this.
That they use that are Cardano enabled will be at the lowest possible cost anybody can provide with no middleman. And that's not exclusive. That's going to go to Kenya. That's going to go to Ghana. That's going to go all across Africa, because we have a Pan-African view, and we're very committed and dedicated people. And what makes Cardano really unique and special is not people at the top, it's people at the bottom. When you have 1 million people that wake up every day and they believe in something, it's not a product to them. It's not just a fun thing. It's not a meme. It's a lifestyle, to the extent that they're willing to tattoo their body with our logo. That's something very special, and there's real value there that doesn't go away. And that's an army. And we'll wake up and it'll be 5 million. We'll wake up and it'll be 10 million, and so forth. So love to have a real conversation about it. I don't think Twitter's the place people go to discuss these types of things. It's entertainment, but it's not real value. And there's a lot of nuance to these conversations, which is why I invited you to my ranch.
If you've made it this far, we really appreciate you watching. Please share, drop a comment below if you have any ideas, something you want to see. Maybe you want us to take it in a totally different direction for one episode. Let us know. We do plan again on having a CPA on, just to kind of quickly talk about some tax information. And we do plan on having our delegators on a big Zoom chat. So if you are open to being on that, please send us a message. I know we have a few confirmations already, but essentially we would all be in a Zoom chat, be some AMA to it, and we just kind of go around, see what intrigued everyone to initially get in, why they chose Cardano, how their experience is going so far, and just an open chat, share ideas. So if you are into that, send us a message. Otherwise, we'll be seeing you on the next one, which will be coming out shortly. Thanks again. Kapow, go get 'em.